Hello my dear student, I hope you all are fine and doing well. Welcome to the family of separate class. So today we are going to start a new chapter, class 10 science chapter 1 chemical reaction and equation. Actually this chapter is belong to chemistry part. So basically in the chapter we are going to study about the various type of chemical reactions, and we will also try to balance various chemical reactions, how to balance chemical reactions, and various points such as why do we need to balance chemical reactions, types of reactions. So we're going to study all this thing in this chapter. It's going to be a very interesting chapter. So I want you to stay tuned to the video, that what I'm teaching, just follow it and make down the notes whatever I teach you here and revise it nicely. So basically chemical reaction, what does it refer? There is two type of reactions we know. One is physical reaction and one is chemical reaction. Actually what is a physical reaction? The reaction in which no new substance is formed. No new substance is formed is called physical reaction. Now for example, let me take an example of a paper. Now you can see there's a paper in my hand. If I tear this paper, so what happened? There's a change take place in its shape, in its structure. But what happened? I can join it yet with the Fevicol or glue. But what happened in here? The paper doesn't loses its chemical property, its internal property. While tearing also, what happened? The papers is still a paper. There is no any chemical change. Means it does not change its molecular structure. It does not change its internal property. So we consider it as a physical change. But what is actually chemical change? The change which takes place internally in a molecular level, in which new substance is formed. Now I gave an example with the paper. So when I torn this paper, it was a physical change. But if instead of tearing, if I just burn it, so what happened? It totally converted to ash. The physical means the internal property, the internal molecular property is totally changed. That is an example of a chemical change. I hope the two terms is very clear to you. So basically this is an intro video. I like to introduce a few things what we are actually going to study in this chapter, and what I am going to do is then as chapter, if I complete the whole chapter within a single video, it might be very lengthy video, so you might be bored by looking all the video. So what I'm thinking is that I'm thinking to make a segmented video on topic wise, so that you can also carry out with the video, so for more clear and purpose. And after finishing, I'll be uploading one more video, means combined video of all the topics. Means there will be one single video including all the topics. So this is what is. So firstly, we're going to study about the chemical reaction. So I already given an example, the reaction in which two or more new substances from the reactant and from the reactants are called what? Are called chemical changes. So I will give the definition, proper definition in this dialog box. So here goes the another definition for the chemical reaction. That is, a chemical reaction is the process by which two or more substances react to each other to form new substance with different properties. Equation means what? What is equation? Have you heard? Means you got many a time in mathematics. Equation means the representations of the reaction is called equation. Whatever. So in mathematics, what we got? Suppose linear equation, polynomial equation. Suppose for example, x plus y equal to 24. So this is an equation, mathematical equation, algebraical equation. But don't worry that we are not going to deal algebraic equation in chemical reaction. We are going to carry out the chemical. The chemical involves in this reaction, that is called that equation is called the chemical equation. So for example, you have heard this one, you have know this one, H2 plus O2. That means what? When hydrogen molecule and oxygen molecule they form, means when they combine together, they form what? Water molecule. Water molecule. So this is the thing that we are going to study in the chapter. This is called the equation. Chemical equation means, chemical means what? Atoms and molecules are involved in the reaction, and so it is called a chemical reaction. And the changes take place internally, means it It's a chemical property, means internal property changes in the chemical reaction. I hope the definition and the explanation is very clear to you. So how can you know? There's a question given here. How do you determine whether chemical reaction has taken place or not? So if we come to see the following things, then we can directly say that yeah, definitely the chemical reaction has taken place. If there is a change in state, means some objects or anything that changes in solid to gas, gas to liquid. So what happens is that such changes, if you see in the really, so what happens, that is called, that is a chemical change. Or if you can see the change in color, if you can see after boiling, whatever, if the color changed to from white to pink, pink to whatever blue, so what happened, definitely the reaction is taking place. Or else if you see any evolution of gas, suppose after reaction what happened, the gas has been evolved from there, lots of hydrogen gas, whatever gas, carbon dioxide gas, if it comes out from there, you can definitely say that the reactions has occurred, chemical reaction has occurred. Or if you can see any change in temperature, so what happened when you buy the tuna means calcium hydroxide, means calcium oxide. When you buy from them, when you buy calcium oxide from the market, when you drop in the water, what happened, you can see there is a reaction taking place and lots of heat is evolving through it. That is a perfect example of a chemical reaction. So try to remember, if you can see such changes, if there is a change in the state, remember change in state, change in color, or evolution of gas, or change in temperature. If you can see any of the four things, then we definitely be sure that there is a chemical change taking place in that substance. The very first topic of the chapter, that is what? The chemical equation. The first topic is chemical equation, and under this topic there is two more subtopic. That is what? How to write a chemical equation, means writing a chemical equation. So I'm going to explain it or make you understand very nicely. Just stay tuned. And next sub point is what? Balanced chemical equation. It is one of the very important point on the vision of CBSE, and many a time this come at least for 2 mark as definite, sure to become an upcoming examination. That balance, how to balance chemical equation is very important, and we'll learn, we're dealing some questions also. Why exactly we need to balance chemical reaction? This also important questions based on this chapter. So I hope it is clear. So first of all, let us start with this topic, this subtopic, writing a chemical reaction. Before that, we have to understand what is chemical equation. We shall learn the definition of chemical equation. And here goes the definition. What is chemical equation? A chemical equation is the symbolic representations of a chemical reaction in the form of symbols and formula. What happens if any reaction which is represented with the help of a symbol or a formula, and such representations is called a chemical equation. For example, here is a magnesium. When magnesiums combine with oxygen, it produces what? Magnesium oxide. As what is the formula? Short form of magnesium, it is what? Mg. Mg stands for magnesium. Plus, and what is the symbol stand for oxygen? That is O. Oxygen gas, O2. What does it gives? Magnesium oxide, MgO. The final resultant will be MgO. Such representation of a reaction with the help of symbols and formula is called chemical reaction. And remember one more thing, let me remind you. There's one more thing given here, wherein the reactant entities are given on the left hand side and the product entities are on the right hand side. Always remember, the left hand side bodies or the particles or atoms or the molecules are known as reactant because they react to produce something that is called product. So the left hand side of this arrow, those are called what? Those are called reactant. Those are called reactants. And this right hand side body is called what? Is called product. So what have to keep in mind, that left hand side, the left hand part means back side of the arrow is your reactant, and the right hand side of the arrow is your product. That means the reactant react to produce a product. is called chemical reaction. I hope it is very clear to you. So what is, repeat after me, what is chemical equation? A chemical equation is the symbolic, is a very strong point, is a strong point, and the main punching point is this. The symbolic representations of a chemical reaction in the form of symbol and formula. And always remember, the left hand side of the reaction is called reactant and the right hand side of the reaction is called product. I hope it is very clear to you. Now let us define and write the definition of the following terms. As we have found that what is reactants? The substance which combines or react are known as reactants. What are the reactants here? Here the reactants are magnesium and oxygens are reactant. This is an example of a reactant. Now what is product? The new substance produced in the reaction is called product. So here what is the new substance here? MgO, that is the product. So let me define one more formula, means one more definition for the chemical equation. If this definition is critical for you, you can use one more definition valid for chemical equation. What is that? A chemical equation is a shorthand method of a chemical reaction. Means to write any reaction in short form. That is what we call the equation. In mathematics also, because something are very lengthy to write. The mass of Arjun and Rama is that. What is the mass? So if you go on writing mass of Rama and this, and what we use x and y. It reduce the burdenship of the mathematician. Similarly here also what we are doing is that instead of writing the full lengthy word, suppose instead of magnesium plus oxygen, what we write? Mg plus O2 gives you MgO. Otherwise you have to write in a word. So it's very critical, or it's a very tough. So what we do? We write in a short form, symbolical representative way, so that we can understand better. So here goes your subtopic, that is writing a chemical equation. Actually, how should you write a chemical equation? So if you go on writing in a wordly scale, so in a word, if you go on writing this equation, magnesium plus oxygen gives you magnesium oxide. It's a very lengthy one and very harassmental one. So what we do for our convenience, we use a symbol. We use a symbol represented for the particular elements. So instead of writing magnesium, how we write it? We write it as a Mg, and that is the oxygen molecule. So how we write? O2. And magnesium oxide, how we write? MgO. I hope it is clear. So how we writing a chemical equation? How do you write? Instead of writing in a broad scale, in a wordly manner, what we use a symbolic representations. This is how we write. Now you might be having questions to ask me. Here you can see the magnesium. Here is one atom consists in the magnesium, and here is 2, and there is 2 oxygen atoms. But here again you can see the number of magnesium atom is 1, while the number of oxygen atom is what? Also 1. Where comes another oxygen atoms? So actually this is an improper or an unbalanced chemical equation. It's unbalanced. You can see here is 2 oxygen atom, but in the product side there is 1 oxygen atom. So it's such unbalanced chemical equation is also called as skeletal chemical equation. What it is called? Skeletal chemical equation. Balance is called a skeletal chemical equation. I hope it is clear. This is unbalanced, and how to balance we will be learning in the next subtopic, and our next upcoming topic will be balancing chemical equation. That is your balanced chemical equation. Means here we are learning the how we will be balancing the chemical equation. Means those are skeletal chemical equation. Suppose the same example we shall carry out with, that is what? The first example that we have learned, Mg plus O2 gives you what? MgO. It's a very simple question that I have given here. There is 2 parts. One is a reactant part. This is a reactant part, and this is your product part. But as you can see, let me write the numbers as rough so that you can write very nicely. How many Mg are here? Let me write the numbers. 1 Mg is there. How many oxygens are here? Or how many oxygens are there? There is 2 oxygen. But in the product side, how many magnesium are there? There is 1 magnesium. And oxygen, there is 1 oxygen. So my dear, so as you can see, the oxygen is not equal in both the cases. So rule number 1, it says that so we have to make it proportional. We have to make it equal. So to make it equal, we have to put some constant number in front of the formulas, in front of the chemical equation. Remember, we cannot put any number behind it or at the middle of the chemical equation or the formula. I hope it is clear. So how can we do this one? Look here, Mg plus O2 gives your MgO. Now you might be thinking that, sir, I shall put 2 here. Are they balanced? Completely wrong. That is against the law or the rule. And the rule I will be giving it, don't worry. So remember, first rule says that we cannot put the value at the end of the formula or at the middle of the formula. That's an invalid case. So what you have to do, we have to put in front of them. This is the valid way. Any numerical value you like to put to make it valence, you have to put in front of the formula. That is must or obvious. I hope it is clear. So remember, so what you can see now, the value of Mg is what? 2. This 2 is mean for both, for magnesium as well as oxygen. It is mean for magnesium also oxygen. It's not like that it is only belong to, this 2 is belong to both the elements. Remember this thing. So a question might be arising in your mind, Arre, sir, how it is equal? Now magnesium also 2 in this case, but here is 1 magnesium. How can I do this one? Arre, not a big deal. Just put 2 here. Now you can see all are happy now. All are happy now in their respective reaction. There is 2 magnesium. There is also 2 magnesium. Okay, fine. Not a big deal. Here is also 2 oxygen. Here also 2 oxygen. So both party are very happy with their life. I hope it is clear. This is the way how to balance the chemical reaction. So if I go on make you write the steps of the balancing chemical reaction, it will be a lengthy process. Just try to understand from here what I am saying. Just see, just write it left hand side, right hand side. You can see what is unequal and try to make it equal based upon the number of elements present in the reactions. I hope the point you can catch it very well. So here goes one more questions. This question is from your NCERT. So first of all, we'll try to clear all the NCERT stress questions, and then we'll be dealing some other extra curriculums questions. So you can see, let us deal. And remember one more thing, in your examination, you will not be getting the direct formula. You will be giving the indirect, the wordly reaction. Suppose instead of writing this, giving this formula, you will be giving like that: zinc plus sulfuric acid gives you zinc sulfate plus hydrogen. So in exam you will be giving such word equation. It's called a word equation, and this word equation you have to convert into the chemical equation in symbolic equation, and then you have to carry out whether it is a valence chemical equation or not. So I think you know very well, you have learned already in class 9 how to convert the word equation into the chemical equation. If you have still doubt, just you can comment me so that I can clear your doubt based on it. So you can see how to balance. Now let us write as left hand side and right hand side separately. So how many zinc are there? 1 zinc. How many hydrogens are there? Here is 2 hydrogen, and there is 2 more elements are there. How many sulfur are there? There's 1 sulfur. How many oxygens are there? There is 4 oxygen. Similarly, we will be going on writing about its element presence in the right hand side. That is in the product side. That means how many zincs are there? 1 zinc. How many hydrogens are there? 2 hydrogen. How many sulfur are there? 1 sulfur. How many oxygens are there? Hurry, God's sake. What you can see that all the elements are equal in both the side, means in both the reaction. So is there any requirement of doing balancing here? No need, because they are already balanced. There's no more reaction. So right hands, the equation is balanced. Hence equation is balanced already. And the equation is balanced already. So here goes another unbalanced equation. Let us try to balance it. So you can see ferrous, the iron plus water, when it reacts, it provides ferrioxides plus hydrogen gas. So let us try to balance these equations. So let us separate it, left hand side and right hand sides. Reactant side and product side. How many elements, means how many ferrous are there? Iron means 1. Hydrogen, there is 2 hydrogen. Oxygen, there is only 1 oxygen. I hope it is clear. Now let us move to the extreme right hand side. So how many ferrous are there? 3 ferrous. Hydrogen, 2 hydrogen. Oxygen, 4 oxygen. It's clear. So you can see only hydrogen is matchable. Other than other elements are not in balance formed. So let us go on balancing it. So Fe plus H2O gives you what? Fe3O4 plus H2. Let us firstly start from the Fe side. So Fe, how many Fe are there? 3. So let us put here 3. So from our viewpoint, we can see that the iron is balanced already. Now what else we can balance now? You can see there is 2 hydrogen. Okay, but what is there? There is 4 oxygen, but here is only 1 oxygen. So we cannot put here, or neither we can put at the between. So definitely have to put 4 in the front of it only. So how much become the number of oxygen is also 4 in this case. But now you can see the number of hydrogen increases, being putting this 4 here. Now what happened? The number of hydrogen become 4 to the 8. And remember, this in multiple form, not plus form. 4 to the 8. The number of hydrogen become 8 now. So what can you do? Let us put 4 also here. So you can see all the elements are balanced equally. There is no any problem with an individual element in this case. All are equally balanced now. I hope it is clear very well. You can see there is 3 ferrous plus 4 H2. So for this 4 makes it 8. There are also 8 hydrogen, oxygen, 4 oxygens are there. So there are also 4 oxygens are there. I hope it's pretty clear to everyone. Thank you for your response, man. So here is one more name reaction for you. Please carry out. If you can do, pause the video and continue doing in this. So let me help you out, as this reaction is given in name format. Let me help you in converting into the chemical formula. So carbon monoxide we can write as CO. I hope you have learned already in class 9 how to write a chemical formula. Plus hydrogen H2 gives you methanol. How to write methanol? CH3OH. You will learn these, the alcoholic particle. So you will learning how to write the formulas for this in the upcoming classes, means the upcoming chapters. Now 4. So here is the formula. Now what can you see? The numbers of carbon here. How many number of carbons are there? There is 1 number of carbons there. Number of oxygen. Oxygen is also 1. Hydrogen is 2. While in this side and the product side, how many carbons are there? 1 carbon. Oxygen, 1 oxygen. Hydrogen, there is 4 hydrogen. 3 plus 1, 4 hydrogen. Now to balance it by looking both the term and both the sides. So what we can see that, how can we form it? Carbon monoxide plus water, or carbon monoxide plus hydrogen gives you CH3OH. So only we have to balance the hydrogen part. How can you balance here? Here is 4 hydrogen. Let us put 2 here. You can see hydrogen is happy, and all the other elements, and the total reaction is happy now. I hope it is clear, everyone. So my dear students, Here are few homeworks I have given you, only 5 homeworks. Please try to do it by yourself, and if you can, send in my WhatsApp number. This is my number, it's already given here, and also the number will be provided in the descriptions. If you can, solve this question, it's very interesting. If you can't, I will be doing this question in the upcoming video, and I will try to continue the chapter. I hope you have enjoyed well, and please write your comment on how you really felt. Thank you.